Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders Picks here, and we are back with another day of NBA betting as of today, April 6th, 2021. It is on Tuesday today. We have about an 8 game slate, but at first, I just wanted to address what the hell happened yesterday. Yesterday was such a weird day in the NBA. If you take a look at it, if you would have bet all underdogs, like to cover the spread or to win, over the course of the 7 games that were played, you guys would have lost once. You guys literally would have lost just once, and it was just the Pistons game. The Pistons were the only team that was favored that ended up winning and covering yesterday. The rest of the teams, like for example, Suns were like 11-point favorites, and the Rockets literally only lost by 3. The Spurs were favorites. I don't remember by how much. Cavs won. I mean, Timberwolves. The Kings were favorites. I think it was like 2.5 points maybe. Timberwolves won. Jazz were like 5.5 point favorites. Mavericks won. Knicks were 2.5 point dogs. Yeah, they're 2.5 point dogs. Nets only won by 2. I mean, literally, other than the Pistons game, you would have lost every game besides that one, which is absolutely absurd to me. So I'm hoping today's a redemption day. I've got 3 bets that I'm very, very confident about. The others are going to be a little bit more iffy, but you know that's just how it is in sports betting. Sometimes your teams are just absolutely, just absolutely messing around, not giving a care in the world. Maybe they were focused on that Zaga game last night, Zaga and Baylor. And speaking of, I mean, Zaga was the favorites by only like 5.5, but Baylor ended up winning. So literally, if you would have bet all underdogs yesterday, you would have been so profitable. But unfortunately, we did not do that. So we went 1-3 or 1-4 yesterday. But you know what? It's time to turn that around. So if you guys are new around here, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. But we'll go ahead and hop into this. So first game I really, really like is actually the Chicago and Indiana game. The reason I really like it is because Indiana is down as of right now. Of course, we have to keep an eye on injury news, but as of right now, they're down Malcolm Brogdon and they are down Sabonis. If they are down both those players, hammer the Bulls money line. I do think that they'll win tonight. Zach LaVine is back. The only person that we might be missing, and I say we're because if you guys are new to the channel, I'm a huge Bulls fan. So anytime I say we, that's who I'm referring to. The only person I think that we're missing is Coby White. Coby White may be back tonight. I know he was listed as questionable, so he might even be back. So we would have a full roster. They'd be missing 2 of their starters. It would just be the Karis LeVert show and then Miles Turner, who's not necessarily the best scorer. So I am going to be hammering this Bulls money line for that particular reason. Obviously, the best odds are going to be on FanDuel. So if you guys need a good, site to bet on, FanDuel has the best odds for that one. They have -110 odds for +1.5 if you're wanting to go for the spread. You think that they only lose by 1. If you think that they actually end up winning like I do, then I'd say definitely go ahead and just take the money line. The money line is a little bit safer, I think, in my opinion. It does give you a little bit better odds too. I don't know what the odds are on FanDuel for money line. I guess I can look. Huh? Let's see. -102. So yeah, those are pretty good odds. Pretty good odds. So if you are going money line, do it on FanDuel. That's all. Okay, next game. I actually really like this Lakers and Toronto game. The reason I really like the Lakers and Toronto game is because Toronto is actually, based off of what I'm seeing, are down Fred VanVleet and they are down Lowry, obviously. He's been out for a while. So they're really going to just have Siakam, OG Anunoby, and Gary Trent, and then Chris Boucher, their usual bench players. But, I mean, Lakers, without LeBron and AD, it's rough. But the thing is like, let's take a look at their past log real quick. So, I mean, they lost to the Clippers, but the thing is, against the Clippers, they didn't have like they don't have any stars. Like they don't have like like star power to be able to knock off a team like the Clippers. But I mean, if you take a look here, Sacramento they won. Milwaukee, like I said, they don't have the star power, so they lost by like 15. They beat Orlando. They beat Cleveland. Lost to Philly because they don't have any stars. Lost to New Orleans, and same with Phoenix. This game they probably should have won. They beat Charlotte. So if you take a look at it, they're beating a lot of the teams that they should beat. A lot of the teams that are worse than them and that they should be beating, they do. So in my opinion, I would take Lakers plus 2.5 or take the Lakers money line. I want to take a look at the odds. So it's plus odds on FanDuel or on every site, plus 118 for the Lakers money line. And I truly do think that the Lakers will win tonight, especially if Toronto is down Fred VanVleet. That is one of their main scorers. I don't think off the bench that they have, like, I mean, they may have Gary Trent, like, running the one, I guess, but it's just going to be weird. It's going to be a weird lineup out there. They're not going to have ran it before. It's definitely going to be something that's different. I like the Lakers here, regardless of, AD and Braun being out. And I think Drummond will probably be out too. But the thing is, like, they still have Dennis Schroeder. They still have, KCP. They still have Kuzma. They still have Trez. They still have Lopez. So, like, I mean, or not Lopez. Oh, my God. Gasol. Sorry. So they still have all those players. I do think that the Lakers win this game outright. I am taking the money line on that one. This is a redemption day, so a lot of these bets are going to be ones that I really am just trying to make my money back, and I do think that all these teams have a good shot. So this next game is Philly versus Boston. I actually think, for the first time, I do think that Philly is actually going to win and cover this number. I do think Joel Embiid is supposed to be back. I think he was listed as questionable or probable or something. So I think he's supposed to be back tonight. If that's the case, Philadelphia, I think, is going to win, even though Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are really good. Boston has absolutely no one to even compare to try to guard Joel Embiid. He's going to have like 35 and 10 easy. So I'm going to be taking Philly -1 here. This game, I don't really like it at all. I think Zion and Brandon Ingram are still injured. Let's see. Yeah, Zion. Okay, Zion's questionable. Ingram's questionable. So just keep an eye out on this. If Zion and Brandon Ingram are playing, then you could probably go it. I mean, and Steven Adams is questionable. Nickeil Alexander-Walker's their scorer off the bench. He's out. So they're missing a lot. It's going to be different. Like, look at these starters last game. Lonzo Ball, Eric Bledsoe, James Johnson, Jackson Hayes, and Steven Adams. That's that's a tough lineup to win with. So if they keep it the same, do not bet the Pelicans. If Zion and Ingram are back, I'd say sure, the Pelicans will probably win outright. So whatever you want to do there. I don't like this Memphis-Miami game. It'll be a super slow game. I do think it'll be close, but I don't know if they'll win by. And I do think Miami will win, but I don't know how much. I don't know if it'll be 3, if it'll be 5, if it'll be a blowout. Just because Miami is super slow, like when it comes to offensive pace. Memphis is very fast. So it's kind of hard for me to try to determine one way or the other. This game I'm also staying away from. That number is ginormous, 13.5, and I have a feeling, just a gut feeling, that I think Jeremy Grant is going to try to score so many points here. If there's any sort of player props for Jeremy Grant, I do think that you should probably take those. If you do, for whatever reason, feel confident in Detroit covering that 13.5, make sure you do it on DraftKings. It's a great betting website for it. On top of that, like I said, it is about 13.5 point favorites. So that is a big number to cover. since it is a big number, you could definitely give it a shot. If it was anything like yesterday, you would win. So, so that's your call, but that's not really one that I'm super confident in. If I had to pick a side, yeah, I don't even think I would pick a side even if I had to. But if I was like forced against my will, I'd probably go Denver over 13.5. But I really don't know. I don't know how that game's going to turn out. The next game is Milwaukee versus Golden State. So the thing about this game, I like it a lot if Giannis is playing. If Giannis is playing, then, which it says here he's probable. If he's probable, I like the Bucks a lot. And to cover against a Golden State team that doesn't play any defense, they're 6.5 point favorites. I think that they'll win by double digits. So I do like Milwaukee here. Yeah, that's really all there is. If you want the safe bet, you could take the money line, but I don't see a scenario where Steph Curry, and I don't even know if he's back. He might still be injured because of his tailbone. Okay, so he's probable, so he'll probably play. But even if he does play, take a look at look at this roster. There's just no defense besides for Draymond Green, and Draymond Green, that's a tall task to try to guard Giannis. So I like negative or -6.5 for Milwaukee. I think that they win and cover that game. In this last game, I don't like it. Portland and the Clippers, I feel like Dame's going to try to go off, but the thing is I don't know if they'll cover 5. Or maybe they'll win outright. I don't know. This is a game that I just don't know about. It's just a game that it's going to be way too tough for me to try to sit here and, break down, analyze, and try to get the right numbers on it. So I don't like that game. So I will go ahead and start with my favorite plays of the day. So my first favorite play is the Chicago game. The Chicago money line. I do think that they win outright tonight, especially if Brogdon and Sabonis are out, but you may want to keep an eye on that because here it still says questionable. So all these guys are questionable, so make sure, like I said, you just keep an eye on the news. If they are in, I probably wouldn't make this bet, and it does drop down a little bit. Actually, I'm going to bet it either way because it is the Bulls. I like the Bulls. I'm going to bet it either way. But if I was a common bettor, if I saw that Sabonis and Brogdon were not in, I would not bet this game just because it really could go either way. My next favorite bet is actually going to be Milwaukee -6.5. I really like that game a lot. I do think that Milwaukee wins pretty handedly. And then it gets to kind of the shaky games. So like I said, we have an 8-game slate. I'm going to be making 5 bets today. So Chicago's my favorite. Milwaukee's my second favorite. Then the shaky games. So New Orleans, if Zion and Brandon Ingram are in, hammer that spread. I like that a lot. If Joel Embiid is in, which it sounds like he should be, make sure to get that spread because they will win by more than just one, I think. Yeah, he's not even on the injury report, so yeah, make sure you take that -1. I think that they'll win more than that. And then I like the Lakers +2.5. So, because I do think that they'll win outright. I'm actually gonna bet the money line on that. I do think that they will win I do think they'll actually just win outright. I do think it'll be kind of a terrible game to watch, but I do think that they will win outright. So that's pretty much going to do it for me today. Those are my 5 betting picks as of today. I'm about to go ahead and head over to Barstool Sportsbook and make sure to put those in. So if you guys do need a sportsbook, that's a really great sportsbook to use. I love Barstool. It's a newer one. It has a free deposit bonus. It also has some great odds, some great lines, etc. So make sure you guys go ahead and check them out if you guys are able to bet. But yeah, so that's pretty much going to do it for me. If you guys did enjoy this, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. And I'm going to be back tomorrow, but this is King Star signing out. Peace.